today we're going to talk about sustainable ingredients. And don't fast forward. I want you to listen to this because it's super important and it may sound boring, but it affects all of us and the world we live in. Skincare products have really only been around for about 75 years. And when we first started developing them in the 50s, we put in microplastics and parabens because the thought was a little bit of those chemicals, even though they don't biodegrade, probably aren't going to hurt us because you're being exposed to such a small amount. The problem is over the last 75 years, that small amount has accumulated. It doesn't biodegrade, meaning it builds up in our bodies, it builds up in our world, in our waterways. And now we have questions about the safety of those chemicals. We don't know if they necessarily cause cancer or do all these bad things. We just know that they're building up in our environments and we have to figure out what that means. So when I decided to make a skincare company, I was like, I will not use ingredients that will accumulate. So if they don't accumulate, that means they have to biodegrade. And if you look at the products you're using now, you just look at the ingredient list, you're going to see things like PEGs, acrylates, carbomer, microplastics, mineral oil, dimethicone, petroleum, and those are all polymers that stick around forever. And a little bit probably doesn't matter, but with repeat chronic exposure, being that the chemical never goes away, the percentage you have in you increases. And if we check our waterways in really any city, you're going to see parabens, you're going to see microplastics, you're going to see phthalates, and these are things that we maybe don't want in our world. So I decided I wasn't going to include any of them. Every single one of my products, the ingredients 100% biodegrade. The EU has stricter rules than in the United States, and all of my products meet the EU standard because everything biodegrades. They meet actually all the national and world standards for non-toxic ingredients. The ingredients also biodegrade, but sort of first and foremost, why I made the skincare company is I wanted things that would work. And I think the reason why my products work so well is that they only include ingredients your body can use. They are not complex, they are not hard for your body to process. Your body knows what to do with them, and that's the reason why I can get such outstanding results with the help of my products. So many of these ingredients are included because it's cheaper to sort of fluff up products. So you put in a little bit of a good thing, you put a little bit of squalene in it, and then you fill it up with carbomer, and that's going to make the product feel full and fluffy and soft, but you're actually only getting a really small percent of the good ingredients. When you don't use the filler ingredients, you have to spend more money on having the good stuff be actually what builds up your product. It's sort of like, is it cheaper to buy a Twinkie or is it cheaper to make your bread at home? And I've decided to make my bread at home. So sustainability is incredibly important. My definition of a sustainable product is a product that will disappear with time and not accumulate in you or the world we live in. And thank you for trying them and trusting them.